Not like it was like a blowout or anything like that, but Anubis wasn't looking like an even situation, you know what I'm saying? So, I
Yeah.
think that for this map number 3, score on the line, qualification on the line too. This is where it matters most, and well, In Control are going to be trying to weather through their first few T rounds. Revenge Nation on the other end, when putting themselves on a driver's seat with CT. Let's see though, lost. Gotta take quite a bit of heat right there. Gonna narrowly get to run away. That is impressive that he was able to move out of dodge for a quick second. I love the awareness coming in from In Control. Though, the CTs make a valiant effort. It is all left to Magic and, well, with Jace Feldner shooting like he has so far, I think that was a foregone conclusion. In Control are going to claim first step, perhaps towards victory. We'll have to see, of course. The more they can make out of their T rounds, the better.
Yeah, the fact that that Revenge Nation had a really, really good grasp of the defense right there on Vertigo, specifically within that B site, speaks well of what we can expect coming forward here within these upcoming rounds, right? However, now we do have a bit of a differential within the firepower, and they are stacking, goodness gracious. Shout outs to Stacky as well, but I mean, they are stacking right here on the A side, and you know for a fact that any information that can be rallied forward for them is, of course, going to be very, very important right here. Yep, we're going to see one kill. Is he going to try to go in with the second? Yes, he does, but it doesn't get there. It's actually Magic, the one that gets a kill on Tyra. Tyra's still able to claim one. You know, the damage has already been done and the money has already been obtained. And now they're going to come forward right here towards the B side. Ooh, and we see them just going with the complete another flank right there. And even though Tabin was able to claim the weapon of choice within that SMG, it's still not going to be worth it in the end, as we see Mason just go in, gets one, gets two, and then gets three. And not only that, but gets so much money in the bank, man, too. Goodness gracious.
4 frags to his name. And those pockets are looking like he got himself a real nice prize from the last round. And we all just got to witness it. Absolute confidence streaming from that man in Control. 2 rounds ahead now. The beginning could be massively important, as we've seen previously. Aggressive. HE gonna come out of the other end. Revenge Nation setting themselves up. Try and fend off In Control, who are trying to come out of the gate swinging here. Or at least in the util department, which they already have set up a little bit towards B. Taking their sweet time to make a little bit of progress. Evan not about to let his teammate fall like that. Seems like that first bout is going to be fend off, like I said.
Yep, we're going to see the molly off right there. Oh, great stuff. Bling, bling. Oh, my God. However, Horizon had the correct idea. Unfortunately for him, it's just not going to work out correctly. The remaining player here within the B side for the defense is going to be Tabin. And JS Fellner says, no, not going to let that happen. As Evan takes care of Dylan, but it's a little bit too late. As now this bonus round is going to go within the swing of In Control, who, you know, they really took the pedal to the metal to be able to shut me up, man. That was like, oh, I don't know if In Control is going to play too well within this. And they were like, nah, we'd win. At least for now, they got 3 rounds in a row, since there's going to be no attempt from Revenge Nation to try to take the site back from them. And the bomb, with little less than 3 seconds left for detonation, Roy is going to count In Control as the victors here within this bonus round. And if you want to look like a victor, you should start acting like it. And what you got to act on is making sure that you're registering for Hellcase and the giveaway that they have for us today. Hellcase, one of the partners here within the CCT, is giving us a $400+ giveaway for anybody that would like to participate. Make sure you click on the banner below the stream or go to cct.gg/Hellcase. And remember, code CCT for a 10% top-up bonus on the platform, active for new and old users. Thank you once again to Hellcase for making this happen. Now, 3 rounds, Roy. 3 rounds uncontested right here for Incontrol. What can Revenge Nation bring towards the table?
That remains to be seen, man. I think that perhaps Incontrol, to flip the script a little bit, I think that Incontrol perhaps are feeling that they have a chip on their shoulder because they were just so close to force out overtime last time around, and then everything went crumbling. I think that, I mean, they must be convinced that they could have pulled it off in just 2 rounds, but the second flash gonna come in. Mason gonna take his chance. Almost getting caught up with his pants down. Taven, though, gonna still exert quite a bit of pressure right there with Adam 4. Ain't nobody walking through this points, boy. Only 3 players left here for Incontrol. And that is not the story that they wanted to tell to themselves. All that hard work already fallen to the wayside. Of course, they still have Tyra right there, setting up a nasty flank. And this may just have bought enough time for the rest of the CT, for the rest of the T story to do something about it. And indeed, they managed to do something about it. And it is a full-on statement that they came here to win.
The passiveness from Evan right there towards the end of the round is what gave Incontrol the leadway to find that win condition. That right there. The fact that he just stood there for a second and then he turned around in the incorrect moment when they had already had a previous bout was what led Incontrol to be able to take the round back into their hands. I do not think that it was anything else rather than that, because they had a clear leadway towards the side. They had a clear leadway to be able to make it happen, and now it's 4-0. Now, within this situation, you got Magic and you got Evan with MP9s. You're going to see those HEs. That HE is going to hit Horizon harshly. I'm not speaking of harshly right there. We're going to see 1. We're going to see 2 kills right there from Tyra. And Evan, once again, paralyzed before he sees 2 of his teammates go down. And I saw a comment within the chat the other day saying that Tyra is hands down one of the most handsome players within the group right now. I'm gonna be real with you, man. I can see why. I can see why. I would say that.
I mean, looking diffy, I have to say, for sure. I mean, in the way that he's just letting Revenge Nation know, absolutely. Let's not overlook Jace Felter as well.
Oh yeah,
has been absolutely popping off.
Oof.
I mean, easy to talk about him when he is yet to fall even a single time. Or Evan lost, well, there is plenty of waiting to do, or at the very least for one of them. And Incontrol looking absolutely dominant at the beginning. Let's see if Revenge Nation can pull off a trick out of their hats, because, I mean, this time around is looking a little bit tougher. Normally, it is Revenge Nation, the ones that manage to take off first, and then it is a bit of catch-up that has to be done for Incontrol. It worked in the past, and it almost worked for a second time on our map number 2, though it didn't quite get there. But now that Incontrol are just coming out of the gate swinging, and on T2, I think, well, things may continue to spiral here for the side of Revenge Nation. But we'll have to wait and see just for a quick more second. Smokes are being exchanged, and look at the boldness which they're playing right there. Magic, though, gonna get his broom out, and he is sweeping the floor with it. Haven gonna join in the action too.
I definitely agree with that play right there. They just caught him looking like deers in headlights, man, with the flashes and everything. Even though Mason is a really, really good player, there's nothing that he can do against the rapid fire right now that Magic is offering. And even though we saw a very, very good sweep off their feet coming in from Incontrol, really just taking revenge for a ride, they said, okay, you know what? It's about time that we stop for a moment. And this is the first time that I've actually seen this situation happen so many times that we've seen them 5-1, man. We've seen this within these last 3 maps. We've seen it 3 times. However, this is the first time that the shoe is on the other foot. Now it's Revenge Nation, the ones who are on the 1 rather than on the 5 side. But Incontrol, you know, they were able to wager a lot of their offense early on that led them to be able to lose a couple of rounds without affecting their economy too severely. You know, we see J.S. Feltner with a good amount of money and things like that. But you got to make sure you take care of those type of situations as well. You got Lost as well. You can't let Lost get more than 2 because my man starts feeling himself and there's no end to him. He really, really makes you feel like you're in hell, especially after getting that triple kill.
My God, that was a statement. They came here to play too. Revenge Nation were just waiting for an opportunity to strike. And that they did in spades. Now there is a clear path that they can take forwards. And with those AKs in their hands too, it is not looking too pretty here for Incontrol, who are going to have to fight their way upwards. That element of verticality tends to complicate things here. Of course, we did see Incontrol pretty much honor their name in the way that they were approaching the beginning. Oh, Horizon gonna let that one slip by, but not for too long. And seems like Revenge Nation, a couple of picks under their belts, are gonna try to not let this run out of control. But look at that, Mason. He could bring a little bit more. Look at that precision and turning around. The awareness absolutely incredible on his behalf. And Incontrol, just like a well-oiled machine. They managed to turn around at every single spot that they deem necessary and react accordingly. Excellent. Excellent awareness being displayed right there by the boys in yellow. That is going to leave Magic to wonder what happened to the rest of those AKs that his team was playing with.
Yeah, I mean, they really just went down in a blaze of glory, and rather just in a blaze, because there was no glory in the way that they died, unfortunately.
Exactly,
they
yeah.
just, I mean, they just all started falling down like moths, man. And Mason really just played that so well, and boiled down to the point that once again, Mason with the anchor point of the team, it was really nothing much that Revenge Nation could do. Now, yes, I agree with this tactical pause right now. If we look towards the side, right here coming in from Revenge Nation, there is no way that you could say that any of these players are underperforming. Magic is playing well, Taven is playing well, and everybody else is playing averagely. Now, we don't have that X factor that we saw previously coming from Evan and Lost, which I think is what's causing Revenge Nation to have a little bit of an issue, because we see them pop off within maps 1 and 2. But now Incontrol is really starting to exert pressure with their positioning, making sure that they leave no angles unturned, or no angles unchecked, no flanks undetected, nothing like that. They're really covering up their tracks so well that Revenge Nation is starting to crumble a little bit, because this is what I was talking about previously, right? They were going with very simple but very effective tactics. Like, they have the basics very pinpointed down. The thing is, when the basics start being contested so aggressively by Incontrol the way that it is, you got to start making up those tactics, and that's when Revenge Nation has been failing.
Yeah, Revenge Nation not being as effective. Put it simply, right? To try and put it plainly, perhaps a bit of a number simplification, and perhaps that is exactly what Lost is saying here. I'm hitting my shots. This story may just change. Oh, the clear up right there. Gonna be enough for Fiend to find an angle to work with. And not only once, but twice did he struck, and I think that they smell that Magic is to the other side of the crate. He's not gonna be able to shut down the bomb in time. He's trying to move forwards, buy a little bit of time, perhaps for Taven to make it there as well. Magic does manage to find Dylan in the process. Oh, that is a crucial missed shot right there. You could not afford that, especially not now that you find yourself all on your own. Mexican standoff right in front of our very eyes and gonna risk it for the biscuit, but Fiend even taking the time to line that one up perfectly. In control. Rising to the occasion, and of course, Fiend doing much of the same.
Yeah, and he really started to clutch those shots up. He was able to get that 4K, super important. And not only that, but really bring the pedal to the metal. He hesitated for 1 second, man. 1 second was all he needed in order to be able to whiff that shot. And Revenge Nation getting, instead of a 7-2, getting that 6-3. But now In Control is essentially securing an advantage now when the side switch comes. And Vertigo is a map that could go either way, man. It's one of those maps that I will die in the hill, that it really lets the better team shine, regardless of if it's CT or T-sided. And right, In Control is demonstrating exactly that they are the better team, that they're playing their cards right, and that every single time that they rise up to the occasion, like you mentioned, they're really placing everything on the line, and that starts to pay off. They're a very high risk, high reward type of team, and it's working out wonders, but not at this point, because Evan is able to get that kill on J.S. Feltner with the M4A1S. We're going to see the molly. Mason is going to get burned to a crisp right there. Colin Cuauhtemoc at this point with how his feet have burned, and now it is the B-side defense right here coming in from Revenge Nation. And I like to see what I'm seeing right now, Roy, because In Control taking their time means that they have counterplay to the adaptation. Like, I can adapt to your adaptation, man. Call me Maorada.
Oh yeah, Makura. It's right there. Let's spin those wheels though for a second. Horizon, I like this, just occupying a little bit of extra space forward, allowing his team to move. Mason could still catch a glimpse, and indeed he will. Only a bit of a jump scare it ends up being, and I think that is going to call for a retreat and a move up from the ramp side, which is usually where in CS we used to see those encounters. Now a little bit of a different layout, and those changes are very important. Okay, managing to slip right by. That is massive. Even gonna get there a little bit later. Fiend, though, with pristine reactions and back-to-back shots. Connected in the way that he wanted to. And this is what I'm talking about. This area being open now. It is such a difficult task if you don't have the numbers to deal with. And my goodness, I mean, In Control just managed to completely take over. And it is once again... they're showing exactly what they can do, where they can hurt you even if you give them a chance. And let me tell you, well, In Control are gonna have a couple more chances to do just that. And Revenge Nation, well, they are running out of opportunities to try and fend off this first initial bout of success. Taven, though, already saying, okay, try to send your entry in. Try to send your entry in. I'm gonna punish it. And yes, indeed, that ends up being just the case, but we've seen, even from a deficit, In Control are able to bounce back. I appreciate the way Dylan is taking his sweet time, making sure that his back's also covered. But Magic decides to get bold, and are they expecting him at this moment? Coordinated push in both ends. It only ends up being damage for the first portion, but Magic, at the very least, will run away with one life to his name. Tough position for Taven, but at the very least, he does have the numbers to back him up.
Oh, the thing is, though, you may have the numbers, but you don't got the reactions, at least for the aim right there. Evan, though, yep, finally in the end, what was the last bastion of hope right there for Taven ends up working out for him, as we do see the immediate refrag coming in from his teammate. We have not checking his angles, and at that point it was very rough. Evan and Lost both getting one, and that's going to be the round right here for Revenge Nation, claiming that third round in their name before the side switch comes, and now you got In Control with the possibility of an 8-4 or a 9-3, especially depending on what Revenge Nation has to say about this. Now that they are the ones to start applying pressure, and it's not looking too great for In Control. Look at the layout that they have, man. They're not looking great within the rifle department. You got J.S. Feltner, you got Dylan, and you got Fiend with rifles, and one of them is an AK-1 Galil, and you got the AWP. However, I do want to bring attention to the fact that Fiend was able to buy his AWP, and Fiend has been making plays, bro. Like, he has been the one to get those opening frags and really start to determine what's going on. But then Taven says, you know what? I can do that too. I got those too.
He's got it, and Horizon has got the info right there. Lost is just gonna try to let it rip. They run out of that situation alive, but with way less teammates than perhaps they were expecting. I'm talking about Dylan and Fiend, of course, who are still... They try to push forward, and I mean, at this point, there is nothing else left for you to do. But it seems like, at the very least, for the ending portion of our first half, Revenge Nation managed to wake up. But is it too little, too late? I mean, after all we've seen In Control caught on that distance and that lead that the opponents have dealt them. So I think the Revenge Nation could be doing much the same, especially given the fact that perhaps they were just getting readjusted. But that is the unfortunate nature of just having to deal with that. Right? You have to be ready for the side switch. You have to be ready. Okay, this is a change of pace, and I think it's going to come down to whether or not Revenge Nation can make that adjustment fast enough to hit that next gear right off the rip and try to start, well, deleting the comfy cushion that In Control have as of right now. And it could get even comfier, but Taven not about to let that come to pass.
Yeah, no, definitely whenever you start getting comfortable, that's when you start to commit mistakes, right? And that is one thing that Taven can capitalize off super, super well because of how he was able to simply get that opening frag on one of the best players coming in from In Control regarding his KD as of this moment. We're going to see J.S. Feltner take a couple of shots right there. Does he have util? He does not. He's actually just retreating. And I think that's a bit of a, that's a bit of a call right here to his teammates. Like, hey guys, I need support right here within the A site because I just went down, and that's Horizon with the kill. We already have this newly installed catwalk, by the way, you know. Got a little bit of a change right here on Vertigo. The construction company doing its work, and so is Magic. You see Dylan getting the kill on Taven right there. Now it's time for the diffuser. You got a 3v2, and if Dylan isn't cautious, it could be a 3v1. Especially right here. Do they have the flank? They do not, but they do have the firepower. Fiend is able to get the kill on Lost, and then gets put down right there by Magic almost immediately. As we see Revenge Nation claiming that 5th round and not really letting anything up for chance. Like, they play that super, super well. There was nothing that could have been done by Revenge Nation by In Control as long as they hit their shots, man. Like, they were completely outnumbered within the position that they had in. As long as they got one kill, they really just had that round within the bag.
Man. In Control now, gonna have to struggle a little bit longer. And this is just what Revenge Nation we're looking for. They decide to get very aggressive. Taven ready for it, and so is the rest of the squad. I mean, wiping up most of In Control. 4 out of 5. Gone in a matter of seconds. And the gamble just doesn't quite pay off as they were expecting it to. Now, it's only a matter of answering on whether or not Revenge Nation can continue to deliver in the same manner. And I like the way that they do it because it's dominant, right? Like, you get a chance to stagger the economy a little bit further. But if you want to propel your own economy, perhaps might interest you in those $400 that Hellcase are giving away. So, a little extra money. Didn't hurt nobody, so you guys better go and check them out. The info is right there, and shoutouts to them, to Hellcase, of course, and the rest of the partners here at the Champion of Champions Tour, and everybody that makes this, well, huge effort possible.
Yeah, thanks to all of them that make this effort possible. You said it yourself, that make these maps, that make us being able to be here, man, that make that possible. So shout out to all of them. Thank you very much. Now, we do have In Control with a bit of a pickle right here. They don't have the best loadouts possible, but they do have at least something. We see the flashes, we see everything. It's looking like the 4th of July, and of course they're going to let everybody know about that because that could indicate the approach right here. But okay, I think I like this. I think I like this because they simply went and threw everything over there and said, like, okay, that's just a little bit of an alert. Maybe, just maybe, the players from the B side are going to maybe position themselves within a situation where we can pick them off. But it doesn't seem like that's the case. In Control with very, very calm approach, or rather calm defense. Simply because they know that they have a lot of time within their favor. And the positioning to be able to do so too. Simply because they're CTs, right? They're the ones that have to wait for the attack right here. And speaking of the attack, we got 3 players that are trying to make their way... I'm sorry, 5 players that are trying to make their way through the ramp. But we got a lot of them right here within the site right here. And Mason gets one. That's going to be a second one. Yes, he does get a second one, but not before Tabin... I'm sorry, after Tabin is able to take them down. We're going to see that smoke. Yes, what a nice smoke, the one that we just saw. Oh no, but I don't think I like it as much either anymore because he's gonna get 2'd. Yeah, that's I was about to say, yeah, it's a crucial smoke and it's so important for you to be able to get it there. Didn't get it. That's gonna cost him the round right there. Just that smoke. That smoke was the pivotal point.
The fact that it was a little bit further back than perhaps they wanted to toss it, like, does not completely blocking the view, and Dylan gotta fully capitalize onto that. I was like, okay, if you're not gonna come and clean, then I'm gonna clean you up. And In Control, finally, getting something to their name in this second half. Approaching double digits too, which it could get all the more complicated. Yes, it is a little bit easier to bounce back, economically speaking, from a T's perspective, but I don't think it's gonna be as easy with what Revenge Nation have got going on as of right now. Could really come down to just how much fragging they're able to do. How well they're able to fend off for themselves. Evan, a little bit hesitant in that encounter. I thought Jace Feldner, that his life was forfeit, like, since they caught his liver of his legs, you know? So, perhaps, I mean, at the very least, managing to come out on top, you know? Even if it took a little bit longer, even if it was a little bit shakier than you were expecting, then sure, of course, I mean, it matters not if you manage to still get the W. What? Are they gonna check for the corners? Yes, they're going for the full execution. Tyra, you're out of there.
Bruh.
Seems like Fiend, though, ready to receive them, ready to cover for those low-winded angles, and he's gonna up them a little bit longer. The rest of the boys in blue are sweeping right back in to try and stop Revenge Nation for working their magic. But magic, that man is continuing to put in copious amounts of work too, alongside Taven, and the rest of it is history as Revenge Nation managed to make it look decisive in the very last few seconds of the round.
Yeah, just at least a little bit closer, right? And not only that, but they're going to force them to go into a bit of a economical, what was I saying? Economical hardship. Yeah, I think that's the word, a hardship, right? Because I mean, yeah, you could buy a bit, but it's not enough for you to be able to go in for the full loadout right here, especially since the CT side can tend to be so expensive. But we got Dylan with the pocket AWP, that deagle that hits so hard every single time that you see a headshot from a deagle coming in from just you can just hear the eagle screech, bro. Like, you can just hear it screech at that point. We see Evan, though, get the double kill right there, and that's J.S. Feldner and Mason, 2 crucial players that have been putting in the work just unfortunately started to lag a little bit behind, and that's what's causing Incontrol to not be able to do much off of it. Is he going to be able to get this flank, man? This flank is so crucial for him to be able to get. And the trigger discipline, too.
Brother.
Oh, wow. No, my goodness. He's going to get one. He's going to get. Oh, doesn't get the second one. But, I mean, the damage has already been done. I don't know how well that worked out for him because it doesn't. No, and then just unable to. Oh, what? No.
That was so tragic.
Yeah.
That was so tragic.
Had everything set up for victory, man.
It was 90% of the way there. That play right here by Dylan, 90% of the way there. You miss the headshot, and that is going to cost your teammate because, I mean, not only do you leave the other guy alive, but also, I mean, you give him a chance to just, okay, there has to be something going on here, and you don't want to give your opponents a chance to react. That was a sad way to go out.
Yeah. And like they had everything set up for victory. If you had that kill, that second kill within your grasp, it was a 1v2 and a 1v3 rather, and you know for a fact that those you could easily win those. No, yeah, very, very unfortunate stuff, the one that we just saw right there. But at this point, you gotta work with what you have, right?
I mean,
you got Tyra with the FAMAS, right? Like, what are you gonna say, man?
Yeah, I mean, if you're Revenge Nation, I mean, that's perfect for you. You
yeah,
get
definitely.
a W on your lap, like that's
Yeah.
perfect. I mean, look at the way that they've managed to just close in on the scoreline, 9-8. I mean, it was looking way more dire at the beginning, and now they are starting to take over on their T side. So, I mean, if you're in control, do you have something to worry about here? Is it a cause of concern? Or is Tyra just going to continue to try and take them and cruise them to victory? And Fiend got to do much of the same.
Yeah, now these two players that have, that were starting to lag a little bit behind there are starting to act once again. We're going to see that FAMAS being discarded. He said, good riddance. I don't even like that weapon. Being thrown out right there. And he actually claims the AK-47 within his steed instead. Now we're going to see Lost. Oh, completely blinded off right there. That Molly being thrown isn't going to land towards the efforts that he wanted, but at this point, you got J.S. Feltner with the coverage, and a very good one as well, as you also got Fiend here. No flash being thrown off. Yep, he sees the Taven and not going to play anymore. At least not for now. He knows exactly where he is, though he sees him. Yep, J.S. Feltner with the refrag right there, and then you got Fiend with the just putting Lost down, man. That was a very, very good round right there for Incontrol. A sloppy one coming in from Revenge Nation. You know that there's an opper there. You don't repeat just willy-nilly, man.
Man, I think that Lost was just not coming out of that one alive. There was just no way. I mean, the coverage from both the M4 and the AWP was just too much to deal with. At the very least, Revenge Nation did have enough money in their pockets to continue and try and be a threat. But it's gonna come down to whether or not they can push through from the ramp side. It's looking like very likely that Revenge Nation might end up giving at the very least one away, but not without a little bit of retaliation, of course, as Magic was the one that got the frag first. But that at the very least enables Revenge Nation a chance to make a case towards B as well, but at the same time keeping in control, just having to second guess themselves a little bit. Of course, Fiend, we've seen just how much of a headache it can be for his opponents to deal with. And I don't think that this is going to be the exception. Exactly, just working with a sliver of an angle, but he gets the job done.
That's exactly what you got to do if you're the opper. Just find the minuscule opportunities that the players give you, because it's themselves the ones that give you the opportunity. And then we see Horizon says, you know what? Yeah, you're right. Got to make those opportunities for my own, because if I don't, that's not going to work out too much. You can see Lost get the kill on Dylan right there. Goes in, gets one more. Last player left alive is going to be Tyra. He does get the kill, though. Oh, and then he jumps out in the most unfortunate moment. Did not really take into consideration the risk that jump made. Or maybe it was. Maybe it was a calculated jump, but this man's not really good at math at this point.
I mean,
it's rough.
You gotta wonder, right? You gotta wonder. But lost, I mean, a spectacular 2 last frags and living it all to Horizon, which was perfectly positioned, by the way, for the smoke to not really play a huge factor. And fortunately, as I was talking about, yeah, Revenge Nation did still have the money to buy something extra for themselves, so it was a crucial round for them. But now, In Control are pretty much calling this one forfeit from the rip, and it is just the consequence of their unsuccessful bout. Oh, okay. Taking care of his own teammate right there. Okay, I guess you say hi like that. Not exactly the way I want to be welcomed personally. Personally, I prefer handshake. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe a hug.
Yeah.
Maybe a hug if I know you a little
Yeah,
bit better.
don't shoot me with the Galil, man. Like
Yeah,
it's not that hard.
Yeah, it's let's go there. You know what I'm saying? Okay, Dylan at the very least getting one for his own, and you guys could get that promo code CCT all caps for your 10% for 10%. Sorry, top up bonus, and also a little bit extra for new users. But it works either way, whether you're a new user or an old user. For Hellcase is gonna work out all the same. All caps CCT. Go check it out. Don't waste it, man.
Yeah, don't be shy. Don't be shy.
Mhm.
It's something you can definitely use. I just find it so hilarious because of how he reacted. Like, immediately after he just completely obliterated his teammate, just essentially leaving him so JS Feldner could get the kill, he just turns around like, man, I'm sorry, man. Just starts shaking uncontrollably there.
There will be a conversation about it. I guess. I mean, it will be a funny one if they win. I imagine it will go a little bit harsher if they don't. Yeah, so
Yeah.
so it's all contextual, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's gotta depend.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree right here. Yeah, especially since Revenge Nation has been playing that well. Oh, okay, Taven, I see you. And he finally got revenge on that because that's been something that's been going on. And they were actually tied within their kills. The fact that that was a tiebreaker is insane lore that's going to be going on later on. The rivalry that Fiend and Taven have within this match has been absolutely pristine. As Horizon goes in and gets the kill on Tyra, that's going to be a good one as well, as we now know that the numbers are within the advantage of In Control. We see the headshot right there through it. Yep, it's not going to be much, but Magic does take down Mason before anything can happen. We see the shots being fired off. Oh, Taven already took a good amount of damage, and that's going to be a rough one. He is the Opera, so he doesn't really have to, you know, worry too much about that, but it's still, you know, a little bit of hesitation in the end of the day.
Man, I mean, In Control letting Magic live for so long, I mean, just matter, or it's gonna end up mattering so much. Of course, In Control could still claim a W right here, but it's not looking very likely anymore. And, well, I think that they were trying to, I mean, of course, Revenge Nation playing for keeps, right? Like, they just want to get their W, and In Control just playing for the save. And this could be turning ugly. This was such a pivotal round here for how the outcome may go as an entirety. And Revenge Nation have managed to bounce back once again. In Control, I mean, do they take the risk? Do they even risk any other money in doing so? I think, yeah, the answer is very clear. It's only going to be JS Feldner who is going to be trying to get a little bit of a consolation prize with that MP. But, I mean, at the end of the day, even if it could have made a huge impact, I think it was never looking like the round to take. And Revenge Nation, on the other end, trying to set up for a little bit of guarantee, a little bit of insurance that at the very least OT is enabled for them.
Yep, at least for now, Revenge Nation is looking very, very good in that positioning. Now all they have to do is just plant the bomb, man. Like, because they already have them essentially cornered in a way that could work out for them. I mean, you really don't want Magic to go down, of course, but I mean, Tyra did get that upper hand. Not before Dylan did go down within the hands of Lost, and now, see, he knows exactly where he is. You gotta rush him, yes sir. You gotta make sure you rush him, and also, make the coverage of those angles. We're going to see that. Oh, I thought it was going to be a molly or something like that, and it seems like he did too for a moment. Just simply waiting down right there. Lost is able to get the kill. However, Evan, as well as the retaliation, as soon as he saw his teammate go down, Lost did get 3, so he's starting to add up once again. Where will they want to strike? Do they want to make their way towards B once more? That molly being thrown out right there, I don't know if that's going to be the case. Is he going? Yes, he knows exactly where he is. Horizon, with little to no difficulty, did take a couple of shots right there, but no, didn't really matter too much. And now Revenge Nation on the verge of winning this one, and this one is so important for them.
Oh, man. If there was ever an important round, it is right here, right now. I think Incontrol maybe are beating themselves up a little bit too much. I mean, they did start on the winning side, and now all things have taken a turn for the worst, perhaps. Of course, it's going to come down to this next few seconds, and it seems like Revenge Nation are being very proactive. Are you prepared for your J.S. Feldner? I think he's going to, at the very least, have a huge hint, whether they may be getting a bit more aggressive than perhaps they were used to. So I appreciate that extra bit of cautiousness being shown here by J.S. Feldner. And usually you see him in the front lines, no fear whatsoever. But now it is do or die. So everybody just making sure to keep their side of the street clean. But it seems like there's going to be plenty of litter around here. And the first frag, though, going to go the way of Incontrol. Been able to withstand the heat and Lost, though. Oh my god, that could have been even better. However, Jace Feldner looking the reactions for it. Horizon, very beautiful anti-flash right there. Gonna keep himself alive, but not only did the damage, but also the bullets are gonna take care of him. Bomb already taken by the way. Magic working his thing right there, and now that is gonna let only Dylan left standing, and they know exactly where he is. It's gonna be Taven who closes it out, and Revenge Nation. There is a reason why they are called that. They have got their revenge for that, for how that map number 1 ended up going.